Shalom, this is Nizama Shalhamada Bar Yasharal on my channel, Nizama the Hebrew Mystic Healer. As always, before I get started, I'd like to show a little love to my 3D Ken, the 12 tribes of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, scattered to the four corners of this 3D earth realm. Much love and shalom to you. Also like to show love to my cosmic Ken, scattered to the 12 dimensions of this universal A construct. Much love and shalom to you as well. And as always, show a little love and appreciation to those of you who are subscribed. If you are not yet subscribed, please do so now and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Also, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like at the end. So today I'm going to talk about a lesser known starseed placement. Most of the people in the starseed community have heard of the starseed Orion, and it's a very loaded placement. And the reason it's a very loaded placement is because there have been a lot of different types of beings or races or lineages. There have been some that are indigenous to Orion, and not just one kind also, because Orion is a very large constellation, very large, expanded out soul group star expression. But there have been those who are indigenous there, and there have also been those souls who have come at a later time. So because of that, Orion is really a mixed bag. Now, not only is it a mixed bag because of all the different lineages, but also because of the wars that have taken place there. So the most common being the so-called Orion Wars, Star Wars, or Lyman Wars, however you want to call it. But these wars have really created sort of this collective shadow within the constellation of Orion. So that's where the Orion Saiph placement comes in. So Saiph is a particular star placement that is lower, like within the Orion constellation. And I've only recently come across a client who had this as their actual starseed origin. I have come across a few clients that have had it as a incarnation placement, but not as an actual origin point. So this was actually my first time, and it prompted me to do a video because I thought it is such a mysterious placement to, starseed chart readers and Akashic record readers. So I thought, why not do a video on it? So when I did this client reading recently, what came up for me is that the beings that are born within this constellation as their origin point within this universe are Shadowhunters, and what some societies might call quote-unquote sin eaters. Their actual soul expression or quote-unquote mission or job or nature is to really absorb and transmute the shadow within their constellation. Now, I haven't received any confirmation by doing client records of what I'm about to say so far, but I do have a sneaky suspicion that every celestial constellation soul group has this. One of the quote-unquote stars or one of the quote-unquote soul expressions are there for this purpose, because every constellation has what you would call the quote-unquote light or the quote-unquote shadow. And when I'm talking about shadow, I'm not talking about darkness and light as a polarity. I'm talking about shadow as in the aspects of ourselves or our actions, behaviors, past lives, trauma, etc. that get repressed and get pushed into the unconscious. So what Orion Saiph really represents is the unconscious collective mind of the Orion constellation or the Orion soul group. So those who have this placement are basically sin eaters or transmuters. In fact, with this particular client that I saw, he actually resembled like what you would think would be maybe a stereotypical quote-unquote dark angel, or almost resembled like the dark fae of the recent Maleficent movies, dark feathered wings, ram-like horns, that sort of appearance. And what I saw was his eyes were like pitch black, but not like how, you see in certain, certain movies or certain cartoons or comic books, things like that in the pop culture, not where you think of black eyes, you think of evil. It was like he was taking in all of the shadow and transmuting it within himself. And so people that have this as a placement, that's really what they do. And it makes sense that there would be more Orion Saiph Starseeds that would come during this time with everything going on in the collective shadow. And I'm not just talking about within the constellation of Orion. I'm talking about within all of the placements and within 3D as a whole, in the quote-unquote human expression in 3D. And so to me, it just makes sense. So people with this placement are going to be the kind of people where other people are drawn to them for help, for healing. They can't figure out why, but something about their energy or their aura is healing just to be around. When people are around them, they will tend to feel better and lighter afterwards. And to an quote-unquote untrained Orion Saiph Starseed, they may at first feel kind of drained or feel like every time they're around people, they just feel like they're getting siphoned. But really what's happening is they're actually taking on the shadow of whoever they're around and transmuting it. So that's what's going on. And so that can actually cause them to kind of feel heavy or burden or drain. But it's not because the people that are around them are taking their energy in the sense as much as it is that they're actually recycling through or transmuting the dark energy that those people have. So while that transmutation process is taking place, before it's complete, the Orion Saiph Starseed may feel just heavy and lethargic and maybe even depressed or prone to depression or hopelessness because of that. So there's also a tendency for the Orion Saiph Starseed to kind of vacillate between extremes of ignoring their own shadow and kind of diving into the darkness, so to speak. So when they're young, they may kind of struggle with that whole process. They may be very secretive naturally, very solitary, kind of a hermit. They may be drawn to, darker clothing, darker music, darker aesthetics, they may come off as darker, but it's not dark like, well, you guys know how I feel about that anyway. You guys know that I don't equate darkness with evil like a lot of the more quote-unquote new age people do. I'm saying quote-unquote a lot, but I feel it's appropriate in this case. But anyway, they're dark in the sense to where they are transmuting the shadow. So it's a good dark. It's a positive dark. It is a healing dark. It's the type of darkness that's necessary. We have to face our shadow. And so the Orion Saiph Starseeds are really representative of that. And their very job is to hold and contain the collective shadow of that constellation while simultaneously transmuting it. So this can happen in a more small microcosmic way, or it can happen in a macrocosmic way. Now, these people, especially during times of year or certain seasons where there's a lot of Orion energy or activity going on, particularly during fall and winter is when I'm being led to say, but anytime there's a lot of kind of Orion energy coming through, they're going to be feeling it. And right now when there's also if there's a lot of activity, a lot of shadow activity going on in the Orion gates, they're going to feel that. So right now, especially, Orion Saiph Starseeds are transmuting and processing a lot of the collective shadow, not just from their home constellation or soul group, but also the collective at large. So I hope this kind of helps explain the Orion Saiph placement. Those who have this as an incarnation will display certain attributes associated with the Orion Saiph Starseed, but the actual origin, if you have this as an actual origin, when this is your first universal expression, you're going to display this very prominently. And I feel like, this particular type of starseed is very much needed at this time. So I was happy to come across one. I'm happy to know these starseeds exist. and I look forward to coming across more. So if anyone resonated with this, please reach out to me. I do, retro cosmic readings. I'm a retrocognizant Akashic record reader. And even if you don't have this particular placement or origin point, I can find out what yours is. So if you are interested in receiving a reading from me, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Facebook.com/The Hebrew Mystic Healer, all one word. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Much love, peace, shalom to all. And until next time.